Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. I'm going to break down Mendeecees Harris talks about what it was like hustling and how he came from hustling on the street to becoming the big star of love and hip hop. He speaks facts and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to intertwine. I'm going to interject some of my stories. So you're going to get a lot of hood stories about how it happened in the hood when you set up out of town. Now, before we go any further, let's do what we got to do. All right? You know what it is. You know what it is. Unique Maker Audio, man. We're in the house. This is how we going to break it down. We're going to play this joint. I like this interview. It's from Crime Pays. Mendeecees really broke it down, and he was on point so much. I said, I'm going to have to share this with the people. All right?
But you didn't really know what you was doing, right?
Right.
But talk to me about when you knew what you was doing and you out there. Like, talk to me about what that looked like. And just even like the thought process behind it too.
So first, I start off first doing like transportation up to from New York to Monticello.
Are you still in school? Or are you out of school?
I'm here and there.
Okay.
I'm in, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm in, I'm not. So when I got clean clothes on, look presentable, I'm there.
Yeah.
When I'm not, like, try to focus on, just, the household situated, then I'm not there.
Yeah.
So most of the older guys was like, what you doing that for? What you going in for? You broke. Like, well, then you got kids in school tease you.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They like, kids is really harsh.
Nah, for sure.
You end up fighting and doing, going through some things because you don't look a certain way. You don't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And, most of the times I didn't fit in because of the way I look. I didn't fit in because of the way I was dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we was struggling.
Yeah.
So I started transporting first to the Greyhound, and I remember I used to put like the drugs in my sneaker, put it in my drawers, and then I remember coming back, I buy some sneakers, and I tell my man like, yo, you want, I could get you some sneakers, yo, you could do what I do. And I'm putting guys on.
Right.
And
all right, let me break that down for you. I think y'all gonna have a nice ride with this. Yo, the Greyhound bus was the move back in the day. So you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to tap out before you start saying, oh, he telling something. Nah, this is 40 years ago. All right. Now, the Greyhound was set up like this. Everybody used to take the Greyhound because they had the Greyhound and the Peter Pan, $29 from New York to D.C., $29. And you could take an ounce of coke down there to D.C., and when you take the ounce of coke down there to D.C., now a $5 valve is worth $40, But they were selling the 50 blocks down there. My man, not Michael Palmer, he's the one who, that I know of that started the rolling 50s, which is the 50 blocks down there. But everybody used to take the Greyhound. I remember when me and my brother went through the Greyhound one day, and there was a girl coming through, and at this point, they had mad DEA and everything up in there, FBI, they looking for people transporting, coming down to D.C. because they knew the drugs was coming into D.C., just like how they know the violence going on out there. So they was actually on the foot in the station, and there was a girl that came through. She taking a bus now, Greyhound, $29 to get to New York from D.C. And she's carrying a Louis Vuitton bag, big Louis Vuitton suitcase, official joint. You know what I mean? The carry-on, the Louis Vuitton purse, and she's wearing a Louis Vuitton outfit. She got on about $15,000 taking a $30 trip to go to D.C. instead of flying. And for the life of me, they didn't mess with her that day. But me and my brother said, yo, we're going to watch her. We know they're going to pick her up. We waiting on our bus to come in with our mule. So we watching their mule. But they got their mule coming in with all this old fancy stuff on. I just knew the DEA was going to grab her, but they never grabbed her, But that's the, the Greyhound joint.
And, we both doing it. Me and all my friends is doing it. And then one time I was on my way to Port Authority about to transport, but my man, it was his first time. He held it the first time. They came with the dogs and they caught him. And they was like, yo, he's with you? And he was like, nah. And he was like, well, they bought their ticket the same time, a minute in the same. They got to be together. And he was just like, nah, he not with me. So I remember calling a person.
See, that's how real brothers was back then. He got bagged, he wear his own weight. He could have easily said, yeah, he was with me, boss. He was with me, give me a time cut. Or let us both go do the same amount of time. But his man said, nah, he wasn't with me. You know, even though they bought the ticket a minute apart. Pay attention.
That he was transporting for, and he was like, yo, you got to get him out. He's on the Rikers Island. You got to get him out. He was like, yo, he know what he signed up to. And I'm like, no, he didn't.
Right.
And I remember he caught $150 on his face.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, yo, you caught $150 on your face. And I was like, you know how much we was getting paid to do that? $50.
Wow.
$75.
Wow.
It's like, yeah. So it was like, yo, and
See, trying to chase that $50, that little $75, he went through hell. That's how hard it was back then. The dude transporting drugs for $50, wind up in jail, getting in the jailhouse fight, and the dude rips him with a razor blade and give him what we call in New York $1.50. Come on, dog. For $50? And you telling me that times wasn't hard then and times is harder now than then with all this technology you can make money from off a phone in the palm of your hand? And the dude is trying to take drugs down and carry it on him, going through the Port Authority, getting pulled over by dogs, getting locked up, going to Rikers Island, catching $1.50 for $50? Could you imagine that? Put it in the comments.
and I did the math.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got a ripped face
Right.
for $75,
yeah,
$50 to
crazy.
$75. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this no more.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I want more money.
Yeah.
So let's take away that risk, and because that's not worth the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me do something else, and then I started like hustling.
Yeah.
Bro, you a silent killer.
Nah,
bro.
nah.
Like your demeanor so
Yeah.
relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't know. To me anyway, them are the most scariest dudes.
No, I'm
'Cause
telling you,
I
like-
can't
like-
tell what you thinking. Like
Yeah.
I can't.
Right.
I'm
No,
looking
look,
at your face. I can't
as
tell.
we
There's no emotion.
as we go along, I'm telling you, he's one of the smartest guys I know.
Yeah.
Which is why I said to you,
It's not so much he can't tell what he's thinking, it's that he can't tell what he's getting ready to say next because this is foreign to him. And it's not a disrespect to him, just letting you know. That's why I'm breaking this down, transcribing it for you.
that what he is, who he is, he just on the other side. Like he's used that business smarts to now translate it into music.
Yeah.
Then translate it into real estate. Then translate it into TV. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll keep talking.
That's a hustler.
I want to fast forward to a bunch of stuff, but I just
Yeah.
had to comment on your demeanor
Thank you. I
because
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's not mysterious,
Yeah.
but I can tell you sit back and observe it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when you came in, we chilling.
You're Scorpio though too, so you know that's what we do.
I mean,
Don't
that's
try to
cool.
say Scorpio.
That's
season.
cool.
I
I'm a
just wanna let you
Capricorn.
know that just in case.
What my
So what you saying, there's no sucker Scorpios? Come on, no sucker Scorpios?
what my camera? Which one mine? What my camera? I'm a Capricorn. All we know is get money. So I got you.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
I just had to put mine out
I'm
there
just saying,
too.
I think Scorpio.
Congratulations,
more
y'all.
strategic.
Yeah, congratulations,
Yeah.
y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yo, bro, you came in here and you instantly started observing.
Yeah.
Like I observed that real fast, and those are traits of a leader.
Yeah.
Those are traits of somebody being cautious and somebody being self-aware of what they're around.
Yeah.
So I quickly picked up on that, and as you telling your story, the traits is coming out.
Right.
Because you instantly just said, yo, you got $150 in your face for $50. No, we're not doing that no more.
Right.
We
Right.
instantly about to pivot and go to
Do something else.
for sure.
I mean, once you grow up in the street, the first thing you got to do is read the room.
Yeah.
Read body language.
Yeah.
90% of the conversation is nonverbal.
Yeah.
So, if you got to see people, how they act and they twitch and they doing this, something's not right.
Yeah.
So, you can, when people start to talk, they start letting you know who they are.
Yeah.
You just got to pay attention.
Yeah.
So you don't have to speak. You just have to watch and listen.
Yeah.
Just like, perfect example, because I like to ride. Perfect example. You don't know a fool until he opens his mouth. How many people you look at, you think they cool and you like them, and you start talking to you, introduce yourself, and then as they open their mouth and start talking, they're battling and challenging everything, and they sounding stupid, and you're trying to correct them, they're not trying to listen. That's what you call a fool that should have kept his mouth shut.
You'll learn more if you just stay quiet.
Yeah, sure.
Because the object is to look, listen, and observe before you fall off the ledge into the abyss. Y'all put in the comments where that's from.
Yeah, that's a fact.
For sure.
Yeah.
I remember I'm from North, I'm from Virginia. The quiet guys or the quiet women used to get picked on a lot, or try to get picked on, right? They call them this, they call them that, and the third. But now the people that are like that is embraced because you know how to use that superpower.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, let me.
Yeah, they say it's power in silence.
For sure.
Right? And holding your tongue. And when you learn how to hold your tongue, you know, when you speak, you know, you speak volume.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's why I say, if you're not going to keep your word, don't make me a promise, because you're the gatekeeper for your tongue. So don't borrow my money and tell me you're going to give it back to me on Friday, and you know you might not have it on Friday, or you definitely won't have it on Friday. Only take my money if you know you're going to have it on Friday, because if you don't have it on Friday, you're going to meet another side of me that you're not going to like. But if you tell me a few days before, look, it's not looking like I'm going to make Friday, I know I gave you my word. Now I got room to pivot, drive and bust my shots or whatever I need to do to get the money that I was expecting over here to put over here. That make any sense to you, or I'm riding too fast? Let's go.
You know, so can't just be frivolously speaking and you know, you're just all over the place. And I feel like who you are and even as far as personality, that's not for everybody.
Yeah, facts.
You know, because some people don't know how to take it.
Yeah.
And we don't want a misconception where now, because you don't know how to take me, mean you have a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because somewhere I misrepresented myself down the line where now you on jokey joke time and I'm not on that time.
Right.
Yeah.
See, good example of that is, that's what you call familiarity breeds disrespect. Meaning, if you allow someone to do something one time, let me ride. I was locked up in prison. Matter of fact, I was in Otisville. I met a white girl that was writing me through the pen pal service, and the pen pal service was writing me through. She told me, hey, my brother just got locked up. He killed my aunt and uncle, you know, was on meth, went on a binge, this and that. He's getting ready to look at life in jail. I want to know what he's getting ready to face. Can you help me? Because I see you doing life in jail from your ad. Now, when I respond back to her as we started talking, one of the first lessons that I learned from this European woman was that if you allow a man to get away with something one time, or you do something for him one time, he believes that's the norm and you obligated to always do that. Now, let me ride with you. Prime example. I'm in ADX Supermax, right? So we come out of ADX out the cell to go eat when we get in the last phase. That's the unicorn phase, right? Before you get out the jail and go back to regular population, where now you could be around all the inmates without handcuffs and shackles and a bunch of police with batons. So now they walk us down to the kitchen to go eat. My man didn't eat no meat, but he ate, you know, pause, but he ate fish. So on chicken day, everybody would swap the fish to the chicken to the people that don't eat, you know, chicken. We're just gonna say that, so I ain't gotta keep saying pause. You know, they swap it. So my man, you know, I was giving this dude the chicken every week because I just didn't feel like eating. It was too greasy. It was kind of bothering my stomach. So I gave it to him for about a month straight every Thursday. Never asked him for nothing. Didn't ask him for his fish on Friday, nothing. And then one day another brother was in there and he said, yo, I ain't eat nothing last night because I ain't like that meal. Man, I ain't eat none of that joint. I'm starving. I said, well, you can have my chicken. I go down to the kitchen and me and my man walking down there together, the one that said he didn't eat, and I give him my chicken when I go in there. when my partner that I normally gave it to, that I gave it to for a month straight every Thursday, because Thursday's chicken day, when I gives him this chicken, he comes in the thing, and he has his tray, and he said, "Where's the chicken at?" I said, "Nah, I gave it to homie. He ain't eat last night." And he said, "Man, you gave away my chicken." I said, "Your chicken?" I said, "Dog, it's not your chicken until I release it to you. But you give it to me every week." Like, exactly. I give it to you by choice. And this week I chose to not give it to you and give it to my brother for whatever reason. And I don't have to explain that. "Man, I ain't messing with you, man. You two-faced." Now I'm two-faced because I gave away my chicken that I didn't have a contractual agreement with him. But I just gave it to him willingly. So that's why I say, right, because, we ride. Humans are like dogs. I'm going to show you how humans are like dogs. If you let a dog piss in the house on the rug one time or on the floor, he's going to always piss in it unless you rub his nose in it and smack the crap out of him. So where I come from, when a dude violate, you got to attack him real quick with violence. Because if not, he's going to take you for soft and he's going to do it again. And that's going to escalate to something bigger and bigger and bigger. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I just feel like giving some jewels today. That's all. All right.
Right.
Because people will be quick to test you.
Yep.
So,
There you go.
someone talk to you a certain way,
Yep.
or just see how far they can go. But if
Yeah.
you never open up the door, it's never gonna go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Meaning if you smack the crap out of them the first time they come out their mouth sideways, you ain't never got to worry about it going there. See how we let into that? Mendeecees, round of applause. Round of applause for Mendeecees. Round of applause for Mendeecees for that. All right, relax, man. Let me finish this interview real quick.
Yeah. So obviously I'm gonna fast forward, but just seeing you from the TV show and how when you get introduced to a different group or a different dude or a different circle, you might have known him, but it's coming across like you've been introduced to him for the first time from the TV. Your demeanor has always been like mine. I'm like, all right, man, let me just fall back and let me let this dude just do a bunch of all of this talking that he want to do. And if I ain't rocking with him, I ain't rocking with him. And I'm going to just go to the left. So I always appreciate that about your demeanor, dog.
Right back to what I said. You don't know a fool until he open his mouth. You let him open his mouth and you spit all that crap. And then you can say, he's full of crap. I'm not going to deal with that one.
Right. I think in TV, right, what I've learned over 14 years of being in TV,
Yeah.
right?
Damn, 14 years.
Yeah, my son would be 13 tomorrow, and he was in his mom's stomach on TV.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
so that been 14 years of my life.
Yeah.
What I learned during the time on TV, that when them cameras come on, usually people not themselves.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
People are one way on camera than they are in real life,
Yeah.
because they trying to sell something.
Yeah.
Right?
Their
Because
brand.
if we came on there how we are, then we not interested. We might not be interested.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have a personality that captive. We just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might not be full of drama. That might be boring to people.
Right.
So some people really try to sell themselves, and they just
go
do. They
overboard.
say weird shit. They
Yep.
do weird shit.
Yep.
And I can't conform to that.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, go ahead and you entertain them. I'm gonna
Right.
sit back. Shit. and
For the most part, that's
yeah.
what I seen you do
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
You just like,
yeah.
I'm gonna just chill and kick back.
Yeah.
But so y'all transition, y'all pivoted to y'all ain't doing that no more. The risk ain't worth the reward, right? So tell me what was next. Like, how did y'all progress?
Next was in Monticello, upstate New York, which is, we found out product go for more than New York City. New York City at the time was too much competition. You got 20 guys sitting on the corner fighting over sales, real ready to, hurt each other over the money. When you start to get on the road, it's less competition.
Yeah.
Right? It's different marketing strategy, right? You can make something stronger because everybody's putting fluff on it, and you can
Fluff meaning cut.
get to the money. Then you can play with it and control it once you get it.
Yeah.
Right?
That means putting cut on it so you can stretch the drugs to make it more drugs. That way now you control the price that you gave, because you give away a better price and still make a profit because you're obviously fluffing it.
Yep.
And you know, that's how we capitalize off it, right? So it's kind of like it's a blueprint for guys that go out of town.
Yeah.
You can find a small town, right? If you go there, you meet a girl, you tap into the girl, she's gonna tell you who's who to stay away from, this and that.
See, that's the first thing we do, right? Because we riding. When we go out of town, the first thing we do is we hook up with a female because the females know everything. Nobody know more than a female. Females get paid to know more. The way they get paid is to know more is because they want to know who got the nice watch on, who got a nice chain on, who got the nice shoes on, who getting the money, who driving what car, because that's who they're going to give themselves to. So now you come in as a dope boy. They're looking for a dope boy. And you come in and you present yourself as a dope boy that's going to put money in their pocket without them having to lay on their back or flat backing, as we call it. So you go in, this is what I do, Racker, we ride. I pull into a town and I go to the mall. Always go to the local mall or the flea market. Back then it was the flea market. You go to local flea market, right? So you go to local flea market, you want to meet a hood rat. You want to go to the poorest place where you know the poorest people is at that you're trying to sell your product to. So you go to the flea market, you meet a little squally in the flea market, right? Now, you meet the squally and you tell her, y'all, what y'all doing later on, where you going, da-da-da, and you go pick her up. When you pick her up, you put $1,000 in her hand. That's a lot of money back then. I put it, so when she get in the car, I give her $1,000. You know what I mean? More times I'll even say, here, you know, you drive. And I sit in the passenger seat with my joint on my, you know, on my lap, you know what I mean? And she's driving, and I'm in the passenger seat, and wherever she goes, she has her own money now to say, oh, let's go to the club, let's go to this restaurant, places she never dreamed of, but where the money is at. And now when she take me, I let her know straight up, yeah, you know, right now I'm just gonna be your brother. You know, we're not on no relationship time. You're just going to introduce me to who's who, and we're going to have a good time. So when we go there and I see a dude got some jewelry on at the bar, you know what I mean, a nice outfit on, I say, yo, who's that? You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. You know him? Yeah. Oh, he work over here and such, and she give you the whole rundown. And he'd be like, introduce him to me as your brother. I'm your brother. So she go over there, she introduced me to him. I say, yeah, what's up? And I say, yo, you know, what you paying for a joint? You know, and if you say, "Oh man, you know, I'm paying too much. I'm getting it for the right price. I don't need nothing." They always say that. I'm getting it for the right price. I don't need nothing. Well, what's the right price? So if they're paying 25, they might tell you they're paying 22, 23. They'd be like, all right, I give it to you for 18. Whoa, 18, yeah. I'm gonna supply you and you're gonna supply the town. That means I don't have to deal with the riffraff in the town. You dealing with the riffraff in the town. I'm getting it for 10, giving it to him for 18. It's going for 25. So therefore, he making 7. You know what I mean? I'm making 8. It's like damn near with that 60-40, you know, split. And everybody's happy. But this connection came from the female. But if you met a dude and said, hey, take me to where the dudes is at that's getting money, he might take you to where the dudes is at that's taking money. So that's why you got to know how to move. Pay attention. What we doing? We riding.
She may got some brothers, some cousins, or whatever. Tell you a little Bob just shot somebody, robbed somebody, who that's maybe her brother. And you know, she's going to let you know what you need to know, and then you know you just start doing your thing, but you know you got to be cautious because you always gonna be what they consider the next nigga, right? Mm-hmm. The next nigga is not a local nigga.
The next nigga is a out of town. Make sure you subscribe to Juanita Mecca Audio. All right, that's my daughter's joint. If you want to hear the prison stories, go to Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story. And if you just want to show some love, go to Mecca Audio TV. All right, and make sure you subscribe, man. Key is to subscribe and then get into the likes and all that. All right, and hit the notification bell.
From somewhere else. So be the first person they tell on. Mm-hmm. Be the first person they rob. Mm-hmm. Be the first person they set up. You gotta notice. Right? So you gotta kind of like, you know, you gotta kind of blend in. Is as
much as you can.
Listen, let me tell you something, right? There's a lot of strategies, right, going into hustling, right? Yep. And it takes a strong-minded, will person to be able to deal with this shit every single day. Yeah. Because you get no days off. Yeah. And to a point where people think it's not something we wanted to do.
Okay.
Right? we just didn't have the right role models
Yep.
to teach us something different, and
Yep.
show us.
Exactly. Cause we riding. Remember, subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel. Cause we riding. The role models we had, there was pimps, drug dealers, number runners, you understand? Stick up kids, burglars. That's what our role models were. And a thought just came to my mind. I wonder if that's because the doctors, lawyers, and plumbers, we already know they told their kids don't mess with us. They could tell by our demeanor that, as they call us, we were trash, you know? So they tell the kids don't mess with us. So we got that. So now their kids don't mess with us, but here we go, we in the hood. So, and if the kids not messing with us, we don't even know that they're a doctor. We don't even know what a doctor do, because we're not even going to doctors at that young age, unless you go for a checkup. Once you get past that prenatal and all that baby care, you already know the kids don't go to no doctor unless he say he got a fever, throwing up, bloody nose, ear infection, or something major. Other than that, nobody wasted money or got no insurance to talk about. They going down there, sitting no long-ass hospital for them and give them no Tylenol. So that's the way that play out, right? And you just got to know how to move with it, man.
Something different. So you could think before we even could come outside, people's already coaching us to become this.
Right.
And like I was saying, you don't even know who a doctor is. So we didn't have doctors to look up to. And if there was a garbage man or a plumber, they was looked down upon. You live next to somebody, he's a plumber, he's one of you. He's just a plumber. You know what I mean? How many of you can honestly say you live next to a banker? How many of you could honestly say, I'm talking about from the hood, you know what I mean, can honestly say you live next to a lawyer? There was a doctor in your projects. Put it in the comments. But that's what I'm saying, and that's what Mendeecees saying, and that's what I'm stamping at what he's saying right and exact. We had screwed up role models. That's why I try and gear my channel to give positive information. Let's keep it moving.
Right? And when you don't have parents involved in your life, the kids become vulnerable. Right? So now, you know, I see myself as like with these kids, I'm paying for kids' school.
Yep.
I'm telling them to go to school. They books, they clothes, whatever they need to be comfortable, because I see myself in them.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Right? So that's a lot of times, if I talk about my street days, I'm not glorifying
Sure.
it. I don't even like to talk about the money
Yep.
part, right? Because I don't want to entice nobody, because they might not have the same outcome and results I have. For
sure.
Right? I got 3 sons.
Yep.
You know, I got kids. I be telling them more of the mental getting out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? More of the danger, prison, you know, getting shot at, getting people trying to rob you.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff that comes with it that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I say tune into Unique Mecca Audio and Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story. All right? And that'll scare the shit out of the crap, the kids.
Right.
Imagine this being on your mental every single day.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
You know,
it
you-
gotta be hella stressful.
Yeah, it's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah,
right?
That's
You
the
got-
part I wanna.
You
My
got-
bad.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. You gotta worry about the people you selling it to telling on you. You gotta worry about the people giving it to you telling on you.
Yep.
You gotta worry about people that just jealous of you.
Yep.
You know, going in and be like, yo, you locking me up for that nigga getting all the money? Go get him.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, so then your name start to ring bells.
Yeah.
And it's like they want to get you. They
Right.
just gotta. You just got a system that they gotta crack.
Yeah.
And you know what you do in the dark one day. Everybody don't get a long run.
Right.
We didn't see a lot of people have a strong short run.
For sure.
You know, and you know, you just gotta be strong minded to be like, yo, I gotta get her out.
Yeah.
I gotta get her out
Yeah.
because this ain't.
See, and that's what I'm talking about, right? When you say a strong, short run, there's an old saying that we had, right? Shit fast, finish last. Because you're busy taking a crap while everybody else is moving forward. So to go running when you could take your time and get slow, easy money by going to school, getting an education, getting a trade, getting all that behind you, getting a job, moving up the chain of command, and then wind up getting your promotion and live a happy life and knowing that you're free and don't have to take chances looking over your back and watching your neck. But let me tell you something, right? This love and hip hop thing before I tune out, right? Remember tuning in my daughter's YouTube channel where I need to make audio. This joint here, right? So you fully understand. Love and hip hop when I was locked up, that was my solace. I didn't watch TV. I spent 7 days a week in the law library, and on Monday nights I left early at 7:30 move so I could go back, take a shower, pop my popcorn, heat up my food that I cook, get a big jug of Kool-Aid, with some prison kitchen sugar, sweeter than that grape Kool-Aid we used to drink back in the day, right? But I like it, that red cherry now. So I'm sitting there eating my food, got my popcorn, I got my Doritos, and I'm watching Love and Hip Hop with my headphones on, and I watch this young man, Mendeecees and Yandy and all them grow up, Jim Jones. I missed those first episodes, but you know what I mean? Because TV was out the picture then. But I never saw none of that. I might have been in a jail that just didn't have it, that just, didn't have VH1. Could you believe having a TV that you had to watch that don't have VH1 and don't have BET and don't have MTV, but got country TV? What's that, country music TV? But nothing for us. So when I got to jails where I could watch black people, remember I'm in jail now, 15 years at the time, right? I'm watching black people, 20 years. To see how the women is acting in the world, to see how the women is dressing in the world, to see how the men is acting and dressing, and to see how the men and the women is treating each other. And I'm telling you now, I was disgusted to my stomach when I saw the way the women was talking to the brothers on Love and Hip Hop. 1 and 2 brothers on there was men and stood up to the women. The one I like the most, I'll say the one I like the most is the dude Scrappy from the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and somebody else from down there, the kid Young Jock. Young Jock and Scrappy is a man's man. They deal with a chick and tell a chick that I got another chick and I want another chick and I'm going to get another chick and I'm going to see another chick. And if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me, be one of my chicks, but you're not going to sit here and run around playing like you're my main chick. I don't care how much involved your emotions get. Bottom line is, you're just a side piece. You're just a dessert. That's how I see Young Jock and this kid, the one I just said. And his mother was real funny too. His mother carried the dude that just came out of jail. I couldn't believe he came out of jail subjected himself to that. But I could go on and on about the different characters. I might even start looking at Love and Hip Hop again and doing a reaction like this to the Love and Hip Hop. Y'all think I should do a reaction to the Love and Hip Hop joint? And I was gonna do it to the BMF joint, but I kind of lost belief that that a lot of that is true. So it make you question, did they really go to Mexico? Did they really have this shoot out in the desert? Did they really this? Because, you know what I mean? Right now, it's like so shaky with everything going on, and you know how entertainment is. Let me tap out, man, but I'm gonna tap out with the intro. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Maker Audio. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Unique Maker Audio, Prison Stories, and Maker Audio TV. Let's keep it popping. All right.